Welcome back to Sarin County, but today is not going to be a typical video. Today is going to be a bit more of a mod spotlight because the new, or the, I don't want to say new, but the old Network's Multitool has finally come to Cities Skylines too. So now it's called the Network Tool, which actually I already had it open, which it's early access. It does say you do need to back up your game saves, so I don't know if I would fully use this in your game yet, but I think it is pretty cool. And actually, while I'm here, I should probably fix our land we got going on here. Schaffen terrain. I forgot I had that. These ground colors. See, I can paint colors. Okay, but back over here. So we have our network tools is what it's called. So you have add nodes, remove nodes, slide nodes, which isn't available yet. We have super nodes, which is fun stuff. We got slope tools, we got curve tools, we got connection tools, parallel tool, and generation tool. So actually, let's start with like the generation tool. So do we have like a nice spot we could? Yeah, sure, we can do it over here in like this little flat spot. Turn Aaron on. We have generation tools. So allows generation of a variety of networks such as perfect row grids and circles. So you have different views. You have your different step abilities, and you can say anarchy or anarchy off. So we have our grid. So we can just make like a simple grid there. Kinda move it around whichever way you want it. So we'll just go like that. Or you can make it, well, actually you can make it bigger right now because we're actually still selected on it. So you can place it down and still fiddle with it, which is nice. You can make things bigger, so you want longer roads, you want bigger rows. And wait, let me just make this back down. I want underground, please. Boom, it's underground now. Or I want it way up in the air. And you have advanced, which is column use. So you can actually, the columns underneath, yeah. Or it also does just kind of make bridges as well. But it should be picking the columns you can put underneath. So if you want like a certain column style that one may have. Well, those are also just kind of turning those into that. Ooh, what about those? Whoa. We can make walls. Look, we got a great wall. Great wall coming along. And you have row use alternate asset. So again, you can change the... Oh, that's what it is. I should actually read. You could use... So instead of one road, you can have different roads. You have that road or that road. Should actually pay attention to my notes over here. But yeah, and now, boom, we now have that. Look at how easy that was. So you have similar stuff to what the game has, but maybe a little more control over that, because now we also have circle. If you want a circle, let's bring this back down to 0. I want that to be 0. There we go. I would like a nice circle. Which actually I can make it as big or as small as I want, just like going like that as well. So like that. You know, so it's not massive or tiny. So the smallest you can go on this is something like that. So you can kind of make your own little roundabouts if you want. So if I do that, boom. Little teeny tiny roundabout. And you also can say follow train, where you just say that. Not elevation. Wrong thing. Wrong one. 0. I meant that. So in this one, it's a little wonky. This one is all completely fat because it's not following the elevation. Or the terrain elevation, which is somewhat nice. And then let us do an oval. Well, they're not made to place it down the way it is, but okay. You can do the same thing with circles. You can make it just by dragging and dropping, which is also nice. Let's also just kind of grab a different What happens if I do a suspension bridge? Works with any type of road, but looks a little weird depending on what type of one you pick, which is fascinating. So we have an oval here. You have your width. So yeah, you can actually make your oval into a circle, because that was just a big giant circle. You make it narrow, so again it goes down to 4, like a little tiny 4 circle, or you can make like a little long area, boom, like that. Again, just kind of gives you more control and more useful things. Don't worry about the train tracks over here. Don't worry about that. So actually, I do want to remove these because I am going to try and fix up our city a little bit. That's why I came in the city. Because the next step is going to be, well, we can show parallel. Parallel will be quite useful. Yoink. I do like this drag. This drag part of the game is quite useful. Makes deleting things a lot easier. So you just gotta bloop, drag and drop. The next one is gonna be parallel, which again, just kind of more self-explanatory. It would just parallel things, which you could do in the game originally, but it is a little fiddly, or it can be difficult to do. Which I think I'll probably use it for trains, just because I do want to have like a dedicated rail, which is going to be technically this over here. So we have this double line stuff going on here, which, well, that probably right there is fine. But what we will do is over here. So parallel, you just kind of pick where you want to start, and you want to pick where your end is. So for now, we're just kind of pick you, boom, right there. And I think I want you on the other side. Actually, that's a road. You do also have to pick what you want. So we want double. Of course, I have a lot of. That's one-way double. I just want a double train track like that. Want that. I guess it is still similar to the old version, because it did kind of matter which way you picked. And I guess it still is kind of like that. So I grab you, and I say I want you all the way up to, we'll say there for right now. And then you can make this, we have vertical offset, so we have horizontal. Make it close, or as far as the way you want. So the closest you can get. Oh, that's the offset. Okay, so you can actually flip it on your side. I missed that part. So you can make it 0, which is basically on top. Or you can just kind of bring it up against it. So let's see how close I want this to be. So let's try 5, maybe 10. 10 might be a good number. Actually, 10 I think is perfect, because it looks like it kind of just overlaps perfectly. So for trains, looks like 10. And it looks like, yeah, because your power lines will kind of fit there perfectly like that. So you could have a double train track, or like as many wide train tracks as you want. And I think this will make things so much easier, because look at how, yeah. And actually, I think I said follow terrain. Right, if I go into here. Actually, there isn't an option for this one. But that's probably an easy, well, that's an easy fix if you have this here. So you just kind of say, I want the train tracks to be the same height. Or is it? Huh. That might be part of the nuance right now, is it's a little fiddly. So you can't do Control H. Well, apparently Control H is like that. But that's probably something you would have to play around with. But I do see a lot of potential for this. I think this will be really cool once it's completely done. So you have your parallel tool, which you can flip around and make some nice perfect stuff with. And then connection tool was the one I wanted to see if we can, where are we? Yeah, come over here and see if we can kind of fix this. So the connection tool is kind of select your nodes. But you have that there. And then, yeah. Let's get rid of that, and that. And I'm going to say I want a connection between. Let's do that. And I want that. Let's try a complex. See if we can get this to fit in here nicely. Yeah, still is a little fiddly with the way it wants to do stuff. Maybe not as perfect as it was before, because before in Cities Skylines 1, you had like different knobs and stuff you can play around with, but still is nice to actually have stuff like this. So you have that, which is our little middle complex curve part, but it still does not want to do the end very well, does it? Not particularly. Let's try it on something else, because that may be a bad example. Let's do, what do we got? We have, okay. Let me try this here. Okay, let's try this. Let's try a curve tool. Want you. Does it not like the height either? Does not actually want to go up to that. Okay, I think I'm running into limitations of this mod, but it will just get better from here, or at least in Cities Skylines 1, it just got better from there. So do we have a different thing we want to try? We're fine with that. A lot of our stuff I think we're fine with. Maybe we'll try this one. See if we can kind of get this from stop being so twisty windy. So I'm gonna go from you to you. That's the wrong line. Wait, did I click on the wrong thing over there? I mean, I might have. So you have a simple curve, which is just that, which I still think looks pretty good. Kind of tries to keep it at a nice height. We don't have loop yet, but I think the loop will turn out to be fantastic. So again, I think it's done a pretty good job. You may want to do some land work, but I don't think, can we? No. But we could turn these into bridges there. Because some of those probably would be bridges. And yeah, so we have a connection. So you either have complex or you have the regular road. And I guess I could show you complex over here. So we got a road there, and we got a road here. And then I want to connect the two. So we do a complex curve. So I say from you to you. So again, you got a few different nodes depending on what it is. So you have this, which is how far out it comes from there. You have your middle twisty knob. So you either go woo, or like woo, or woo. And you can just kind of make it into whatever shape you want. And again, you can make this into shorter or longer. So let's go something like that. And something like that. Create connection. So now we have a complex there. And actually, this gives me an idea. I wonder... I don't know if it's gonna like this. Because this is not the most easiest way of getting up through here. Not curve tool, let's try you. Let's try from here to there. Let's bring you like that. Let's bring you like that. Maybe like that. You know, it's trying its best. It's still pretty good for a nice tool. But again, it's trying to do like a really smooth grade. Which actually is the next thing. Well, actually one of the next things. It's up there. But we have curve tool next. So again, you have your complex and you also just have connections. You either have like a simple or a complex curve. Just kind of change it to whatever you want it to be. Also, yeah. You also can do your bridges, but again, I think some of your bridges would look a little weird depending on what you pick. But yeah, you have that. And then we have our curve tool. Let's go back over to our test area. So let's grab our curve tool. So we have a straighten curve or a smooth, well, smooth curve is coming back soon. So let's just try that. Apply transformation. And actually, well, yeah, I don't know if that really showed a whole lot because it really didn't change. But let's try from you to here, which you can also see the slope, which I think is pretty cool. Apply. I don't know if that really did a whole lot. New boat nodes? Did not realize you can do boat nodes. How about we try you up to here? Okay, so that is trying to go. Okay, so that's going from. That just seems like it's just trying to fix the slope. We'll continue this path. Just make it straight. I want straight. I think I was on slope. Because I was like, what I did probably should have made what I did. Should have just made it straight. And because I guess I didn't actually click on it, it was not actually doing it right. Curve tool. So yeah, we don't actually have smooth curve yet, but we got straight curve. Look, we got a straight path. Boom. It is now straight. Broken everything, but it is now straight. I want straight road. So you can make curves straight if you want, which can be useful. Now, slope tool, which will come back over here and we'll rebuild this. And we'll rebuild this. And you kind of already saw what it was doing. Where is our... Oh, there's our node. I don't want -10. I want 0. Boom. So for now, ignore my horrendous building. Well, maybe we'll just kind of... None of that is good. Okay, so imagine we had the perfect slope we had going on here. And we use our slope tool. So now I want you from there all the way up to there. It was still trying to use that. So you have constant slope. So you have just like a basic constant slope up. So it's 0.5 or tries to do 0.5 the entire time. So it says it started with that. You see it, like it started with these and now it's going to those. So now it's a nice, slow, constant slope up. So you have that. Then you also have ease in, out of slope. I'll bring it back up to there. So we have starting flatness. So you can start 100% flat, or you can say I want it to be 0%, or you can say whatever percentage you want. And the same on the ending. So you want it to be not flat, less flat. And you have your smooth start connection and a smooth end condition. And then you also have our arch slope. So we have our arch height, which kind of goes like that. So again, you can make like a nice bridge at arches or something. Just go underwater. Whoop, whoop. Then you also have your arch position, which you can say where do you want your arch to be and stuff like that. Whoa. Just kind of play around. You can make some weird looking stuff. So again, you have your slope stuff, which I think also is pretty useful for certain areas, because I'm trying to think. Do I have any? Ooh. Here's probably a pretty good example. So we're going to do a constant slope. Go from you to boom, there. Because it was all over the place. And now it's just going to make a nice constant slope. And I think, yeah, that just fixes a whole bunch of stuff we have going on here. So much stuff is going to be fixed. Fantastic stuff we got. We also have the super nodes where you can just add a super node wherever you want it to be. Or look, we have a super node. Allows combining multiple nodes into one large intersection, which the game does do automatically for you. I was actually going to see where. Actually, I don't know if that really did a whole lot. Yeah, because there's a super node right there. You can see how it kind of backed this all the way up there, and it's just one giant intersection now. So the whole intersection is now this, which I don't know if we actually have. I was thinking about over here. Yeah, that's all broken. What about here? No, maybe I don't. I thought maybe I did. I think well, I know it's more for when you have like two intersections right next to each other. So instead of one intersection, you have one giant intersection. But I don't remember if I think I fixed all those I had. Yeah, because I think I had some, and I think one of them was this going underneath here, but that's kind of fixed. If I can go back to it. Yeah, this right here. Which, debating if this will fix this. Do a slope. Do an arch slope from there to there. I wonder. does looks a little janky. Let's see if I play around that a little bit. Not. What a constant slope. Still looks a little janky. But maybe some filling around and we can make something like that work. But yeah, that is the new mod. Or the newer mod. It's kind of been in development for a long time. But I am excited with all the stuff we got going on here. With the more control we have going on with our game. So yeah, I think that is what we'll do here. We'll just wrap up this episode here, and next episode we may actually try putting this to good use once I start playing around and understanding how this works. But yeah, I shall see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.